Hey, yo guys, what's good, what's happening, and what's going on? Welcome to motherfreaking Thursday. And I don't know if you can see the road over there, but you notice how it's kind of shiny? You're probably thinking, well, yeah, it sounds like it's raining outside. Yeah, it is. It's freezing raining again. So yesterday they canceled the school buses in threat of snow and like winter. And we didn't really get much of a winter all day until 4 o'clock when I got off work. It started to like snain. That's when it's like snow rain, but it wasn't that critical. It was kind of weak. It didn't really pick up till about 6 o'clock. And then like when I was done making the video about the Acer Loser Nitro Suckface getting the video card upgrade, all of a sudden I look out the window and it's blowing wind like crazy. Then it was brutal, but it was fine before then. Now, I showed this problem yesterday with the monitors and the mouse cursor and all that. Guys, I don't know what the heck I did, but now it's working fine. Everything's fine. The mouse is going from monitor to monitor, no problem, and it's not an issue. So I don't understand what the hell happened, but it's not happening now. So whatever. Now I do need to learn stuff about this video card because there's some features on it that I don't understand. Like whatever this Radeon X thing is, or like there's a bunch of settings like fluid motions is enabled, Fidelity FX Super Resolution 4 is enabled, anti-lag, radian boost, all that stuff is set. But I don't know what the heck Hyper RX really is. So it must be some sort of like performance boosting thing. Yeah, they have AMD Chat, which basically is Chat GPT ran locally through the AI card, the AI tech on the 9070. So that's pretty sweet. They got a bunch of apps you can download and stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna go see if I can find out what the hell they are. So yeah, they got like different applications here. Content creation, enhanced content workflow assets in popular apps like Adobe Photoshop software, DaVinci Resolve, and Blender. Oh yeah. So AI with AI. I might as well turn off my crosshair. There we go. Radeon graphics are ready to handle the most popular generative AI. What do you got for that? Easy to install. Oh, Automatic 11. What's this? Adobe Creative Cloud, Blackmagic, DaVinci Resolve Studio. I've always wanted to try this one. Never got around to it though. It's way cheaper than Magic's. DaVinci Resolve. It's like super cheap and it's pretty powerful for anybody looking for a video editor for their home computer. So cool. Still no flipping idea though why all of a sudden it just started working. So that's a thing. Anyway, I'm going to bring out the cardboard here. Today is recycling day. So I'm going to bring that out. I'm so glad we get to work from home today, but depending on what happens throughout the day, because I do believe they are calling for rain all frickin' day, and I don't think the weather's going to pick up. I might skip out on martial arts tonight if it's freezing rain all day, because yeah, they're calling for shit weather all frickin' day. And I don't know if I want to be out there driving pretty much across town for an hour's worth of training while everybody's getting off work and trying to get home and driving like complete imbeciles. I really don't know if I want to risk it for a biscuit. So we'll wait and see closer to the time. And if the weather's kife, I might just say, yeah, I'm not going to make it tonight. So yeah, I brought my recycling. I don't have enough garbage to really care about, so I didn't bother bringing that up. But man, it is slick outside. Holy. Driveway is frozen. Glare ice. I'm glad that video card came yesterday and not today, because I'd be nervous about somebody walking on my property. Now, the plow truck did come by and spray down some shit to try and break up the ice, but I don't know if we're going to have school buses today. School's probably canceled again. See, they canceled it yesterday, made it a snow day because of frickin' the threat of ice. Well, today it's no longer a threat, it's an actual fact. So buses will probably be canceled, and I'm so happy about not having children, because having to deal with that in the winter now, like when I was a kid, we never got a snow day. I think we had one, maybe two tops. But nowadays it's like weather the weather network puts up a warning about a potential for bad weather and the buses get canceled right away. And then nothing happens throughout the day. Like yesterday, it was sunny all day and the weather didn't get bad till like 6 o'clock. Well, by 6 p.m., all the buses should be off the road and all the kids should be home, right? So I don't know. I don't freaking know. But they are calling for snow from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. tonight. And then tomorrow, it's gonna be, looks like 6 degrees, or sorry, what's going on here? Tomorrow's gonna be 6 degrees Celsius all day, 4 degrees on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, 1 on Monday, then back to -3. It's not going to pick up until like Friday the 11th, where we're finally going to be in the double digits for our weather. And maybe by then this frickin' snow will piss off. All right, guys, frickin' lunchtime. And actually, you know what? I'm going to bring some garbage out to the garage and see if it's worth putting my bin at the side of the road. Thinking about heading over to the grocery store and grabbing something to eat, like chicken or chicken wings or something, because I'm hungry. And chicken wings sound freaking amazing right about now. I've been doing some more research. It turns out, remember when I said that Mouse Trails wasn't on? Yeah, it totally was on. And that's why it wasn't doing the whole sideways cursor thing. So in my mind, that issue is it's like a virtual cursor, if you will. The other thing I'm wondering is when I go on Reddit and I do research on this problem, a lot of these guys did what I did. Basically went from Team Green to Team Red, and then they started experiencing this problem. So when they had their NVIDIA cards, one guy went from like a 3080 to a 9070 XT. I don't know why they bothered. The 3080 it's only 5% slower than the 9070 XT according to the benchmarks. There's no reason to put that out. There's only 2 bags in there now. Yeah, the 3080 clocks in, like I said, like 5% slower. The 3080 also has more VRAM, I think. I think the 3080 comes with 20 gigs. I don't know. I haven't really looked into the 3080 too much. Well, I did. I shouldn't say that, because I was contemplating on stoving one of those in instead. I really didn't want a new NVIDIA card because there's been lots of people talking about how, you know, they're great when they work, but when they don't work, there's a problem. Honestly, for the longest time, I contemplated on taking the 3070 out of the editing computer and moving it into the gaming computer, because that card is actually really good, and then putting the 4060 in the editing computer, because even though Vegas has GPU acceleration, it's still a very CPU intense application. So it uses GPU for like when you're doing transitions, or if you're using any of the newfound AI features in Vegas, which I don't use that much. Like there's a text-to-speech option where you can do like the TikTok videos where you have that guy's voice narrating. There is a full-on narration. There's also speech-to-text where it'll listen to the audio feed and then basically dictate it out, complete with timelines and everything. Pretty cool feature, I guess, if you want to put in your own subtitles and not have YouTube do it. But honestly, it's not something I really use. So I don't use a lot of the AI features. So having all that extra AI processing power on board is kind of pointless. So I thought about putting the 3070 in there, but then I've been wanting to go back to Team Red for a while now to see what they got going on. And when I saw that deal for the 9070, at first I was like, oh, it's only 56 compute units over 64, the XT versus the non-XT. But it turns out the 9070 is slightly overclocked. So the difference in performance between the XT and the non-XT is a pretty small margin. It's not like going from a 3070 to a 3070 Ti, where you notice the performance increase, or I should say a 5070 to a 5070 Ti, where the performance increase is so noticeable that it almost feels like you staged up, like you went up a tier in the cards. But what was getting me going was everybody on Reddit talking about how their 5080s and 5090s, the cable was melting, and I was like, I don't want to really deal with that. The 5070, I didn't see anything about the PCI E5 port melting, but I did see a video where a guy took a thermal gun, put it up to the cable, and did a test, and it looked like only one line was drawing power and the others were just, what are you doing? Oh, that guy's about to run the frickin' red. But yeah, it looked like only one line was pulling voltage, and the other friggin' 9 lines, or however many there are on there, were just sitting there doing nothing. There was nothing going through them. So it was like it was jamming 300 watts through through a single wire, because on all the burnt connectors, it's always the same one. That's toast. So I don't know if this is a design flaw that NVIDIA did on accident, or if it was intended. I don't know what the frick. But you look at the 5070 versus the 4070, and that's why I was actually contemplating on getting a 4070 instead of the 9070. It's such a weird naming convention. Anyway, is because the 4070 didn't really miss out on much, except for the new AI algorithm DLSS4 with FrameGen. But then I was like, you know, I honestly got nothing AMD right now except for my laptop, which it just has a Radeon Vega graphics card, and then I got the RDNA 2 and the Nook, and I was really impressed with the RDNA 2 and the Nook. It's really good. Like, before I bought the Acer Loser Nitro Suckface, I was using that Nook to play Rust, and I was getting about 40 frames on moderate settings from an internal graphics, like an iGPU, an RDNA 2 built into the 7735 with 12 compute units, and it was pulling an easy 30 to 40 frames, no problem, on medium settings. So I was like, oh, maybe AMD's got some shit going on here with this. So knowing that this card here is RDNA 4, better architecture, better a lot of other things, that's why I was like, man, you know what, let's give Team Red a try. But every single Reddit post I saw where people were complaining about the cursor being sideways, all upgraded from NVIDIA, which leads me to believe what the problem is that they had their NVIDIA cards in, the monitors were in portrait mode, and then when they extracted the cards, they didn't reset them back to landscape mode. So something in the system is holding the landscape cursor while the monitor's in portrait mode, but it doesn't make sense why mouse trails or having Rust open would fix it, or dragging a window from one screen to another would fix it. I'm not sure what part of the subroutine is doing that. But anyway, guys, I'm here at Independent. I'm gonna run in, grab my chicken, and I'll be right back. Don't know how I didn't see him. He's a big freaking dodge. Anyway, we're done. We got our chicken. I always get the unbreaded chicken instead of the breaded. I know a lot of people like breaded chicken. I just find with certain places, the breaded chicken, they put too much breading on it. And it's like they use smaller chicken wings. When you get it unbreaded, you know what you're getting into when you look at the wing, and you can tell the quality of it. Mind you, I wouldn't be surprised if all this shit's frozen from some freaking market, sent to them in bags, and they just throw it in the air fryer or the deep fryer and cook it up. Anyway, slurped on that. Got some chicken for lunch. Plenty of time. It only took me 20 minutes to get in there. It was just taking forever to get the chicken because there was some lady ordering, like, I don't know, man. I guess she's opening a Subway because the amount of cold cuts she bought, holy crap. She's going to be able to feed an army. Straight up feed the military Subway with the amount of cold cuts she just purchased. All different flavors and types, and I used to love cold cuts back in the day, but now it's like, no thanks. Once you realize how they're made, I'd rather have a chicken sandwich by going there and buying like a rotisserie chicken and cutting it up and putting it on bread. But I find when I eat bread, and I've noticed this, that I get really wheezy. I get really congested, and I don't understand why. And it's funny because I never thought about it, but then on Tuesday when I was at Martial Arts, I'm chatting with Coach about the new place, and he sounded really plugged, like really like his nose was stuffed or something. And I'm like, are you coming down with something, man? And he's like, no, why? And I'm like, you sound like you're like really, really in need of an antihistamine or something. Like, you sound really, really plugged. And he goes, no, he goes, I had bread today. And he goes, whenever I have bread, that's how I get. Oh, that was awesome. Thanks there, bud. Truck needed a bath. Too bad it's road salt water. But no, like, okay, yeah, the roads are fine, guys. That's the other reason why I wanted to go out for chicken. I wanted to see how cocked over the roads are with the freezing rain. And the roads are just wet. But it's 5 degrees Celsius out right now, so that explains it. Thank God I didn't have my window down a little bit to let some air in. I would have, looking at my side window, it's caked with friggin' salt water. I would have got a bath. But Yeah, that issue with the NVIDIA card and the AMD card. It seems a lot of people upgraded from NVIDIA to AMD, and they're the ones griping about this bug. And I'm thinking what it is they did exactly what I did. Left the computer where the monitors, the right monitor and the left monitor were in portrait, uninstalled the old card, uninstalled the old drivers. For some reason, there's some retention happening in the registry regarding the old drivers. Problem is I can't reinstall the NVIDIA drivers without reinstalling the NVIDIA card, and that ain't happening. Worst case scenario, I will Windows reset that machine and then just reinstall my applications and we'll be all right. I don't have any data on that machine that can't be reinstalled from Steam. Literally, that computer just has nothing but game stuff on it. So a Windows reset would probably resolve my problem, but it'd be nice to be able to fix it manually without having to smoke the entire system, because I hate using a nuke when you can just go in with a wrench and tighten up a few bolts, you know? It's like at work, 90% of the time, when there's a problem with something, they always want to resort to a Windows reset. And it's like, well, why don't you figure out why it's doing this error message and fix it? Because obviously a Windows reset's going to fix it, but you don't know what caused it, and it keeps coming up. If the error message keeps coming up on other computers, if you can figure out what the cause is, then we can nip it in the butt and get it over with. Because they're so hard up on just getting the tickets done and getting them out the door, a Windows reset will get you there. But it's definitely not the way. It works, yes, but I like knowing what the issue is so that when I come across it again, I don't have to inconvenience my client for 4 hours while the computer resets and reinstalls all the applications. Because if they can't work, they don't work, but they still get paid, you know? It's better off to have them working, have them producing, have them making the company money than sitting there on their hands because their laptop's broken for 4 hours doing nothing, potentially distracting other people while they're bored and they're going and conversing with people in the office. That's my logic anyway. But for my home computer, worst case scenario, to fix it, if I have to, a Windows reset will work. So, yeah. I don't even know if the camera picked that up, but I just shit out my ass. Hey guys, it's like freaking 8:30 at night. I didn't go to martial arts. I didn't bother. People were backing out, and I was like, you know what? I've been dealing with a headache now for the past 2 days. Like, ibuprofen's been working, but I don't know what the heck it is. I don't think I have a fever. I have no way to check for a fever, but just for the past couple of days there, I just haven't felt on my A game, which is probably why why is that light on? Is there a raccoon out here? I don't see nothing. Yeah, I always lock my door when I'm home. Now I always lock it when I leave. So, but yeah, as far as that issue goes with the Acer, with the AMD, I did some more research and it seems I'm on to something here. That everybody complaining about it are people who have upgraded from an NVIDIA card, who had their monitors in portrait mode with the NVIDIA card, who stated, I didn't have this problem with my GeForce. Is this an AMD bug or a Windows 11 bug? It's kind of both in my mind. This is what I think is happening. This is what I'm theorizing, is the monitor state is stored somewhere from the previous video card, okay? When you uninstalled the driver, which is what I did, I removed all the NVIDIA shit to install the Adrenaline driver for AMD. For some reason, it didn't revert the cursor setting. Now, obviously, a Windows reset would remediate this because it would bring Windows back to stock of when I first brought the Acer Loser Nitro Suckface home. Problem is it would have the NVIDIA drivers on there from, what, 2 years ago? So I would have to leave everything alone, uninstall everything, install the Adrenaline drivers, and then we should be golden. Now, mind you, Windows 11 does have native Adrenaline drivers available. They're not the greatest. They get the job done so that you can at least see your desktop and work with the computer. But you're going to want to install your factory drivers regardless. What I'm thinking I'm going to try, I was going to try it today, but holy, I just felt like shit all day. My brain is just killing me. I thought it was caffeine related, but super not. This is what I'm going to try. I'm going to uninstall the Adrenaline drivers, bring it back to the native Windows drivers. Put the monitors into landscape mode. I'm not going to flip them or anything. I'm just going to put them in landscape mode. And then reinstall the Adrenaline drivers, and then put them in portrait mode and see if that fixes it. The other idea I had was going into Device Manager and physically uninstalling the drivers for the monitors. Maybe that's the first thing I should try, because uninstalling the drivers for the monitors, which is just a basic display panel driver, they don't have their own uniform drivers. A lot of monitors out there do not use specific drivers for them unless they're like a USB based monitor, which, let's face it, there's not a lot of those on the market right now. There are a few, but they're like tiny form factors, like a laptop's LCD with a USB cable coming off that you plug into your USB-C, and it's got a built-in shitty video card that'll get the job done if you wanted to have a laptop with two displays. Or like the one that buddy at work has for their laptop. It clips onto the screen and it folds out, and you have two fold out panels off the side of your main panel. But if you're running a Lenovo laptop, you definitely need a kickstand, because let me tell you, that attachment for the laptop is pretty heavy and it will pull the monitor flat on the ground. So I ended up 3D printing him something to attach to the thing to give it stability so that he can set it up and use it. Yeah, so what I'm thinking is this: pull the panels. I'm gonna try uninstalling the panels first and go from there and see if by rebooting and having the panels reinstall, if it fixes the cursor problem. If not, I'm gonna do the video card drivers, bring it back, like wipe the drivers right off the machine, let Windows install the generic video drivers, and then put the monitors in landscape mode, reinstall the Adrenaline drivers, and try for portrait. What I think I should have done before I even messed with that video card was put the monitors into landscape mode. I'm pretty sure the developers never even thought of this bug. Now, whether it's a Windows bug or it's a changing brands bug, that's left to be untold, you know. I didn't use the NVIDIA control panel to change the orientation of the monitors. I used the built-in Windows, right-click on the background, go into display settings, and flip-flop it from there. So there are people who complained about the complete polar opposite as well. They had an AMD 6950 and they upgraded to an NVIDIA 4080, and now their cursor is sideways. Now, I had this issue, and I talked about it before. When I first installed the new monitor, the monitor on the left, the old Acer monitor, was doing that, where I bring the cursor over and it was sideways, where up was right, down was left, left was up, and right was down. Like it was like holding the mouse like this instead of holding it like this. But after a reboot, it corrected itself and it was fine. So I'm thinking the problem there was just that I want to say it's probably the monitor, the package for the monitor that's messed up. But if I pull both monitor packages out, let Windows reinstall them. If I put them in landscape mode, let Windows reinstall them, and then flip them, it might solve the problem. And if it does, then I can just pop on that Reddit forum and be like, all right, guys, this is what you got to do to fix this. It's dumb, it's stupid, but it works. And this is the reason why I say a Windows reset would fix this, because a Windows reset will fix everything. But it's like, let's say you have a house with a squeaky door. A Windows reset would be like bulldozing the house and building a new house. Yeah, it's going to fix the squeaky door, but you literally had to build a new house. Why not just fix the squeaky door? You know, that's why I don't like to resort to a Windows reset for every problem. But we do have a few techs at work that's their go-to, because they know it's gonna be an easy fix, a long fix, but an easy fix. It's going to work, it's going to solve the problem, but in the end, you don't know what the problem is. So are you really troubleshooting at that point, or are you just doing a world reset? So I try to avoid the whole Windows reset, re-image, reformat, whatever you want to call it, as much as possible, unless there's a system instability that requires it, like kernel panics or any sort of problems with the OS that cannot be remediated and the OS has to be reinstalled, then I'll go that route. But if it's just a driver conflict or a piece of software that's acting buggy, I won't smoke the system. I'll sit down, I'll try and think it out. Okay, what components are acting up? And that's what I did with this one here. This was my thought process on this one. What components are acting up? Okay, The mouse cursor is weird when I move the mouse over, but if I drag something to the monitor, it's right. For some reason I turn mouse trails on, it's right. What does mouse trails do? It just adds an animation to the mouse. So why would that resolve the issue? It's got to be a configuration problem in either the display card driver, a residual setting that's stuck somewhere, probably something to do with NVIDIA. Maybe there's a registry setting in the NVIDIA registry, in the Windows 11 registry for NVIDIA, that is holding the cursor into a landscape. But theoretically, if I uninstall the panel, in my mind, it should resolve it. If not, resetting all the drivers, and I tried doing Windows Control B, which resets your, I think it's Windows Control B. The Windows key, the control key in B, your monitor will black out and come back, and what that does is it resets the video card driver. If you ever have a glitch on your screen, like something whacked out, you know, you close a window, the window's closed, but it's still up on the screen because the graphics card didn't refresh and remove the item. You hit Windows Control B, that's B as in Bravo, and it will black out the screen, bring it back, and that window will be gone. I used to have this problem with the old FX60. No, not with the FX60, with the 6700K. I was having that issue in Windows 10 where every once in a while I would close out of OBS and it would close out, but it would linger on the screen as a white background, like just a white box. And I would just do a Windows Control B and it would reset the display driver, and then it would go away. Never bothered to troubleshoot that issue. Oh well, whatever. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna probably mess with that tomorrow. My brain is too freaking sore today to deal with this. I think I need to get some good quality sleep tonight, and tomorrow we'll pick up where we left off. So I think I need to poop too. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Wasn't much of a vlog today, I know, but between work and stuff and brain ouchie time, yeah, fun times. So I'm going to shut her down here. Once again, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you have any input on this or any ideas that I'm missing out on, maybe you've had this issue and you have resolved it and you don't realize that there's a giant Reddit community right now all experiencing this, and Microsoft's solution is literally to re-image the computer because their technicians are about as useful as taste buds on an arsehole. So if you've experienced this, let me know in the comments below if you've ever come up with a solution. Who knows, by the time this video goes live, I should have it resolved because I don't plan on backing down. I plan on going at this full tilt like a Peterbilt and figuring it out because that's what I do. Anyway, until next time, guys, live it to win it. Peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.